If you're just now joining us, go ahead and in the chat box, let us know where you're from. Toronto, Canada, welcome. Wisconsin, welcome. Awesome. We have so many amazing people hopping on. New Mexico, welcome. Awesome, awesome. And if you haven't already, grab a notepad and pen. We're going to go over a lot of valuable information that you probably want to take notes on. Welcome, Edmonton, Canada. My mom's side is from Canada. They live in Edmonton. Love Canada. Welcome to the call. Minnesota, that's where my dad's side of the family's from. So welcome, Minnesota, to the call. All right, all right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and kick off this call. First and foremost, I want to take the time to thank everybody for hopping on. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're dialing in from. I'm from Southern California here at the corporate headquarters in Irvine, California. This is not a background I added. This is actually the wallpaper in the office. It's our Bota Lab theme room, which is our personal care and hair care line that you're going to hear a little bit more in a little bit. But we're super excited to have you on this call. My name is Julian Doan. I'm 38 years old. And I've been in Riman for about a year and a half, and it has completely changed my life. So just to give you a quick background, I don't want to take too much time, but I come from the fitness background, so a lot different than skincare. And I built a successful career teaching group fitness boxing in studio for a brand called Rumble Boxing. I've also built a very successful career doing it digitally for brands like Alo, Lululemon, and Meta. And so when I found Riman, like many of you, I was already settled in my career. You know, money was not a problem, but there was a problem in the back of my mind, which is time. You see, being 38 years old, teaching 26 classes a week, filming 8 classes a month, I didn't really have a lot of time and energy to put into anything else. And even though the money was good at the time, my wife and I were only dating, and I had plans to get married. I had plans to have kids. And I just looked at my situation and I just said, man, you know, if I get married, if I have kids, what would my life look like? And it would really be me as a husband gone all day. It would be my wife raising the kids by herself until I come home and she's tired. And, you know, I didn't want to live that kind of life. I wanted to have time freedom. I wanted to keep making the money I was making, but have the time freedom to enjoy it with the people that I care about. And so when I was introduced to Riman, I had no idea what I was taking a look at. I actually saw it at a convention. My good friend Chris Kim, national director, former K-pop star, introduced it to me. And when I saw the company, the same company you're about to see today, it just blew me away. For number one, the heritage ingredients, right? The exclusivity of the ingredients. Number two, the instant efficacy of the technology that allows people to not only experience the products, but experience results relatively fast. And not only that, but just taking a look at the prices of the products, right? When you look at the products, it screams luxury, right? We have a lot of different brand partners that we've worked with that you're going to get a chance to hear from later on, drawing elements from some of the top designers in the fashion industry, the top fragrance from the French industry, blending in with the wellness innovation of the Korean skincare industry, right? So when I saw that, it just blew me away. But what really sold me on the company was hearing the testimonials of the people that got started and came before me. And these are people that come from so many different walks of life. I'm talking about teachers, people that are nurses, right? Respiratory therapists, investment bankers, housewives, people that do nails, people that look like my aunties and uncles, right? Who English, you can tell, is their second language, but they're making an annual income on a monthly basis. And it truly showed me that there was something special here. And when I got started, it was the best decision I ever made. Fast forward a year and 6 months now, we built a team of over 9,000 people globally, and we have over 39,000 customers who reorder the products on average 6 to 9 times a year. And it just got started with just me introducing it to a couple of people. And fast forward a year and 6 months, it has led us here now to the launch of the Philippines. And I just want to share that the Philippines is a country that I hold very close to me. And the reason why I say that is I have a lot of love for the Filipino people because growing up, I was bullied, I was picked on, I didn't have a lot of friends. I grew up in an area where there was not a lot of Asian people. And in my school, there's only 4 Asians, including myself, and the other Asians are all Filipino, and they took me in. And you know, just the love that the Filipino culture has, the love of the Filipino people, and the food, by the way. So if you're not Filipino, you definitely got to eat Filipino food because it will probably be one of your favorite foods out there. So flavorful. Anyways, I can talk forever about food. So I have a lot of love for the Filipino people. And, you know, just to kind of share with those of you on the call who are on this call because you're looking to market into those areas. You know, in the Philippines, having it being a third world country, People are accustomed to working hard at a very, very young age. A lot of people from very young to 6 to 8 years old on the way to school start selling stuff on the roads to other students, to other people, making money to give back to their families, their province. And what's amazing is fast forward to where the country is now. It's poised for a revolution. It's poised for a huge economic boom. And what's exciting is we get a chance to make a difference in that country. Just to give you an idea, in the Philippines, the average annual monthly income is about 1,100 USD dollars. And if you're already a distributor in our company, you already know how well our science behind the products is, how great our system is, and how well it is for us to teach anybody to go out there and make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month part-time around their schedule. And we have people that have gone out there and have made substantial full-time income on a part-time basis, and people make an extraordinary amount of income that we can't talk about because you probably wouldn't even believe us, right? But it's so exciting because here in the United States, and again, hopefully I don't offend anybody if I say this, but when you help somebody make an extra $500 to $1,000, even though we have so many people doing it, it doesn't have the same impact because $500 to $1,000 US is not as life-changing. But I want you to imagine in a country like the Philippines, right, where the average monthly income is $1,100, and you help the average person make an extra $500 to $1,000 simply using the product, talking about the product, and demoing the product, how different it will make in their life and in their country. And so that's what I'm super passionate about, is going out there helping people. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into the presentation, and I'm going to share with you information about the company and also how it applies to the Philippines, okay? So first off, the company's called Riman. Riman was established in Korea in 2018, and that's very, very significant for several reasons, right? The reason number one, Korean skincare right now is the gold standard of skincare. From the ingredients to innovation and technology, a lot of the things that are popular right now in Western society and even throughout Asia started from Korean skincare. For example, the face mask that a lot of people wear, right? The collagen mask, that originated from Korea, right? The whole concept of double cleansers, right? Oil cleanser, water-based cleanser, that was popularized by Korea, and now it's taken the world by storm. So again, the company was started in Korea, the most competitive market for Korean skincare. And what did they do? In 3 years, they did over $3 billion in revenue. They became the #1 rated K-beauty brand in all of South Korea, which is significant because prior to that, the #1 company had that spot for 30 years. And here comes a company, a brand new company called Riman, in 4 years became #1. And just to contextualize what that sounds like, our top selling product, the moisturizer cream, right? They sold 40 million bottles of the moisturizer cream to a population of 55 million. Let me say that again, okay? The population of Korea is 55 million. They did $3 billion in revenue, and they sold 40 million units. Now, why is that significant? Because in the Philippines, the population of the Philippines is 116 million people. So if they're able to do 3 billion in South Korea, the most competitive market, what if we can accomplish half of that in the Philippines? That's where my mind started turning. That's why I got excited, right? And so what's exciting for us being here in the Philippines is you have an opportunity for first movers advantage, right? We have the appeal of a startup company being first, being brand new, being exciting, but none of the risk because the company's already done $1 billion in revenue. The infrastructure is already set up. And it's literally a turnkey system for people like you and I to go out there and market the products. And in its short years of being around, we've already moved up the list, the number 22 on the direct selling network list, right? So let's go ahead and move forward and talk a little bit more about the Philippines, right? Our corporate office is going to be located in Makati, Manila, but it's going to be free for you to build and work throughout all of the Philippines, right? We already have our GM and our sales manager, and more importantly, shipping is going to be available from local warehouses, so you can have the product shipped directly to your house. If you're close to a fulfillment center, you can actually go out there to the office and pick up your products on will call. And as we continue to expand in the Philippines, we're going to be opening up hub offices in different provinces in different cities in the Philippines as well, okay? So let's go ahead and move forward to the next slide. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about our products, okay, is not only the products great, not only do they work, but they're sexy, they're well packaged, they're well designed. These are the type of products that you can give as gifts and feel proud to give as gifts. Does that make sense? These are the kind of products you can have on your shelves when you walk into your bathroom. Like We all know people like that, okay? My wife is like that, right? You go into our bathroom and there's so many nice things. You go into our kitchen, right? She has a nice place, a nice towel. You try to grab the towel. She's like, no, those are display towels. Those are display dishes, right? These are the real dishes, and you get the paper ones. But our products are so well designed, and you're going to hear about our designer later that we partnered up with, that again, it's attractive, right? The brand, okay? And our commitment to the Philippines is huge. We established ourselves as a foreign-owned entity in the Philippines, right? Which is huge because number one, we put our money where our mouth is. That's a $250,000 investment to be able to operate as a foreign-owned entity in the Philippines. Now, why is that different than other companies? 95% of companies that go into the Philippines from the direct sales space, they go through as a bonded company. Now, what's the difference? When you're a foreign-owned entity, you're heavily regulated by the SEC, the FDI, right? Huge organizations. And when you go in as a bonded company, the only rights and benefits you have is import and export. And again, our company wanted to separate ourselves from every other company that's out there, and more importantly, set us up in such a way to give confidence in the Philippine people to be able to go out there and work with us. And again, only a handful of network marketing companies have made that financial commitment to the market to do this, okay? So as we move to the next slide, what does that mean for the Philippines? Well, if you take a look at it, studies show that number one, the demand for Korean skincare is huge, right? Right now, the number one TV show on Netflix in every single market is a show called Squid Games, a Korean, drama, right? The most talked about the most talked about artists right now are all Korean artists. Like in America, we have this huge festival called Coachella, and Lisa from Blackpink and Jennie were the most talked about, most tweeted about artists, and they weren't even on the main stage. That is the power of Korean pop culture. Now that so many people are being exposed to Korean pop culture, they're now being exposed to a different set of beauty standards. And what happens when you watch celebrities, you want to look like them, you want to dress like them. And now a lot of people, they're looking for that youthful glow, the radiance, right? The lightening of the skin. And what's huge is that in the Philippines, is actually a top five market for Korean skincare. In fact, over 1.32 billion dollars is spent on skincare annually, and one third of that is Korean skincare. Now, why do I share this opportunity is great, right? Before we talk about the products, why the Philippines? Well, number one, in the Philippines right now, they're having a huge economic boom. There's a huge growing middle class. So what does that mean? People have more disposable income than ever before. And so now people are now spending more money on personal care and beauty products, including skincare. Now, number two, if you're Filipino, you already know this. I don't have to preach to the choir. But when it comes to Asian countries, Philippines especially, there's a huge cultural focus on beauty, right? So beauty and grooming in the Philippines is really highly valued, right? And having that focus and bringing in Korean skincare, which obviously is already a huge demand, plays a huge advantage for us and separates us from everywhere else. It's in the Philippines, what's very common, a desired effect that people want is the lightening of the skin. Well, prior to us, a lot of the products are available. You have stuff like papaya soap, lightening skin lotion, creams. And what happens with a lot of those products, it gives you that desired effect of lightening. But what it really does is over long periods of time, that lightening effect actually fades and you have to continue to use it. The chemicals are so harsh, your skin actually starts to peel, starts to dry out. And what's amazing about our products that Brianna's going to share with you in a little bit, it gives you that same lightening effect while moisturizing, protecting, and healing your skin. So again, our products, I think, is so perfect for the Philippines. And not only that, but you take a look at the market for the Philippines as a whole, right? Digitally, right? Digital and online shopping is at all-time high, right? People are now buying online more than ever before, right? People are now looking for opportunities online than ever before. The concept of brand ambassadors, beauty influencers, people promoting products, social sellers is so huge and common in the Philippines that when you introduce a quality product delivers results, people are going to see it and people are going to get it, right? So it separates us apart from everybody else, which is huge. And again, so many people are online now. People have more money to spend, and the drive for beauty is already in the culture. And so we're super excited to have you guys all a part of this. And my part's pretty much done. I get to introduce the next speaker. And she's somebody that I have tremendous respect for. I mean, she's well sought after in the industry. She speaks on stages in front of thousands of people. She's been mentored by people like, Tony Robbins, right? I'm pretty sure no one's heard of Tony Robbins. He's a small, trainer in the personal development space. And, I can listen to her speak all day long. And I'm so excited to have her come with me to the Philippines, experience the Philippine culture. And more importantly, I honestly feel, I mean, we have so many great people in the company, but there's probably nobody better in this moment to share with you the products than this person. So help me welcome to the call, Senior Director, Miss Brianna Michaels. Welcome to the call.
Oh, thank you so much, Julian. I love your heart to help others, and that's what we're going to do. I think about the billions of dollars we're going to do in the Philippines, but more importantly, how many lives we're going to change with that. It is truly mind-bending when you think about it. And I know how much this has changed my life. And I had a friend of mine reach out to me, and I call her my industry insider friend, and she called me and she said, Bree, there's a company that did over $2.5 billion and just came to North America. And of course, that piqued my interest because the dream is to get in with a startup, but 95% of startups fail, you guys. They're very risky. But the fact that this was an established brand with a proven track record that already did several billion dollars and that was new to the market was something to think about because it's like getting first movers advantage without the risk. And that's what's happening, here. That's what's about to happen in the Philippines. And so, of course, I ended up trying the products. The products blew my mind. You guys, I was using expensive med spa products. This makes every other product I've ever used feel like drugstore quality. And I'll never forget when I said, look, I don't know what I'm going to do about the business, but I can tell you right now, I'm going to be a customer for life. That's a clue. That's a clue because people who put this on their face, they're never going to stop using it. I know I'm never going to stop using this. And so I get to talk to you about these are some of our different product lines. Now, we will start initially with the skincare line, and they will roll out additional products as we go through the launch. But we want to show you this video. Something that's really interesting about this company is not only are they committed to their innovation, but they're also committed to first-class marketing. And so this video that Jen is going to show, I'm not going to play the sound because I'm going to talk over it. You're going to have to ask the person that invited you to send you this 3-minute video. Now, what's interesting is they actually hired the producers who make videos for Toyota, paid them almost $1 million to produce this one 3-minute video. And it's fascinating. You need to listen to it. It explains the technology and the science behind the brand. Now, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes quick story about where this came from. It was actually the #1 product formulator in Korea. He was researching something called tiger grass because tigers would actually roll around in this because it would heal their wounds faster after they had been battling with each other. And so he was researching this. He actually developed his own strain and technology. He has 12 different patents on the skincare alone. He has 14 patents across the product line. And no one can duplicate this technology for the next 18 years. It's patented and it's protected. You will not find this anywhere else. So, of course, that's when he ended up forming a company and they did, a few billion dollars in Korea, in the hardest market in the entire world to go #1 in. They became the #1. And you heard what Julian said about how they knocked that other company out of the top spot. And once you put it on your face, you'll get it. Don't take our word for it. Let the camera be the judge. And the reason why is because this is a cosmeceutical. You have to realize this does things that regular skincare cannot do. What classifies it is they use a very expensive technology. It's called a microfluidizing equipment, and it allows the product to penetrate to the deepest layer. If you've ever put numbing cream on your face, that's a cosmeceutical because it does the same thing. It penetrates to the blood barrier. So this actually, not only does it have the 12 patents, it has nanoliposomal technology, so it heals from the cellular level, but they went a step further and they added superpower ingredients, things like exosomes and NMN that stimulate NAD in your body. If you don't know this, NAD is like your fountain of youth. And so exosomes are like tiny little messengers that tell your cells to produce more, collagen or radiant skin, plump skin. So we can flip through some of these slides. I'll show you 2 of the different product lines on the skincare. If you go to the next one, the one on the left is water-based. Now, this is great for regular skin type, sensitive, acne prone. The one on the right is oil-based. So if you have very dry skin or already using an oil-based line, you'll want to go that one. But our favorite part is that they're clean. They abide by the European Union standards. They're German derma tested, but they go a step further and they ban over 3,000 toxic ingredients from their products. And I'm going to tell you right now, they work. You can see my before and after picture here. My forehead is on the left. And I was shocked after what it did after just 5 days. I wouldn't have believed it, but I took that picture myself. My husband is in the middle, and I always tell people I don't know if I'm more impressed with his pores or his hyperpigmentation. My friend MJ is on the right. You can see how she has that glass skin and it reduces inflammation in the skin. We can flip through some of these before and after pictures, and you can see how it works for them. I always tell people give it a year. It's going to take 10 years off your face. And you can see just the tone, the texture, the pores, the wrinkles gone, just gone. And yeah, the glow is real, Dr. Bell. And so you can see this is Dr. Lynn on the left. And then these are after 6 months, you can see the progression of what it does for the skin. Now, we also have another line, and this is called the Bodolab line. Now, this is like hair care, or I'm sorry, this is like skincare for your scalp. This is like skincare for your body. And so what this does is this actually, they were studying something called desert algae. It's a type of algae that grows in extreme heat in the desert. They found an ingredient that was actually strengthening the hair follicles and healing the scalp. So we can look at these before and after pictures we have on here, and you can see how it's actually healing the scalp, the dry flakiness, how it gets rid of crepiness, discoloration in the skin, how it's actually growing the hair. Now, we're going to pop over and talk about how we can make some money with this. I know Jen's going to share some information with you. And you know why we're here? We're here because we decided to wash our face, and then we told people about it. And then we tapped into some of this money that Jen is going to explain to you.
Thanks, Bree. Hi. Listen, the first thing I like to say to everybody when I'm talking about skincare is that I was born in the 1960s, and prior to Riman, all of my Google searches were things like, how much is an eyelid lift? Or do fillers really stay in your face forever? Is Botox really that dangerous? I mean, it was a mission for me to get products that worked. But I am an autism mom, and one of the things that we are very passionate about, a lot of us in the community, are clean ingredients. We know all too well the damage that unintended toxins can cause to people neurologically. So clean ingredients, life-changing, no longer Googling how to get a facelift. If that's something that you're interested in, this is the place for you. And by the way, in the Philippines, 1/3 of people in the Philippines are currently using what they believe is Korean skincare. Well, we have news for you. A lot of that is made in China and has been labeled with Korean skincare labels. It may even have some 1 or 2 ingredients, but nobody has access there yet to the #1 Korean skincare in the entire world. And this is what we are bringing to you with an incredible compensation plan. So a couple of things, I'm not going to go too deep into the comp plan, but a couple of things that we really love is once you hit a level, you lock it in for life. So that manager, you're making 20 to 30%, you never drop down. With a lot of direct sales companies, you start each month at 0 and you have to earn your rank back every single month. There is none of that here. The other thing that's very cool is we have rolling volume. So if you are working, you will never have 0 in your back office. And that feels really good to log in, especially on the first day of the month, and see that there is still volume in there. And we don't have auto ship. So there's nothing required, with a lot of direct selling companies, you need to be on an auto ship simply to get paid on your customers, or you have to make a purchase every 6 months, every 8 months, every year. We don't have any requirements. I believe in the Philippines, it will be free to join. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brianna. So really, you have nothing to lose. You get a link and you go to work. The average customer orders 7 to 8 times a year, and they are coming back to get not just skincare, because once they get their results with the skincare, they are going to ask you, what else do you have? They are buying the hair care, they're buying the body care, the collagen, the gut health supplement, all the things. And again, no subscriptions or fees, no back office fees, no minimum purchases, payments, etc. And we have a really cool leadership match bonus. So when you start building teams and when you start bringing people up through the ranks, you are matched on their paycheck. So this is a little, graphic diagram chart here that shows what you get paid at each level. This team leader is really where people are starting to make the six-figure annual income. And again, I'm not making any income claims, but on average, that is what we are seeing at team leader, and they're getting paid 40% on their first generation and the same all the way up. But can you imagine you bring somebody in and they're doing all this work and you're helping them build, and you get to the point where you're getting matched on them 40% on their paycheck? This is incredible. So we're big fans of our comp plan here at Riman. And let's talk a little bit about the marketing. At Riman, we believe in celebrity endorsements. And I know our friends in the Philippines, let's see if we have a picture. Does anyone know who this guy is? So you have to, if you don't follow Juan Bin on Instagram, please go follow him. He is the #1 actor. I know all of you in the Philippines already know, and you probably already know he's the spokesperson for this, but he is, I believe, 48 years old. When I started with Riman, he was 47. I've been here a year, so he must be 48. We'll just deduce that. Look at that skin. If that is not a testament to the power of Korean skincare, I don't know what is. So this is beautiful marketing, a very, I call him, for those of you in the US, this is, or Canada, this is like the Brad Pitt of Asia, and he has the #1 grossing movie in all of South Korea. And we talked a little bit about the South Korean culture coming here to the US and coming here, being very prominent in the Philippines and in other parts of the world. The Korean culture is everything, from K-pop to Squid Games to the movies to K-dramas. And I'm a Broadway gal myself, so I just have to say the Tony Award-winning musical this year is called Maybe Happy Ending. It is a South Korean musical. So we are seeing K-culture in all facets of culture, and especially skincare. Brianna, I'm going to throw it back to you to talk a little bit about the incredible marketing team that Riman has hired.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? They're always, if you ever wonder who they're going to hire, it's going to be first class marketing, first class collabs. And, Pentagram is the #1 branding and marketing firm out of New York. And you can see the brands that they represent here as well as Riman. And this is really the calm before the storm because you're hearing about this early on. And I knew when I walked away from my previous company, even though I had one of the fastest growing teams in Europe, I walked away from that to partner here even though they're not in Europe yet, because I didn't want to miss this, because I knew that people were going to hear about this and I wanted them to hear about it from me versus somebody else. So you can see on the next slide, this is another example of one of their collaborations. This is Frederic Bertin. He is the #1 fragrance formulator in the world. He formulates all the fragrances for Louis Vuitton, and now he is formulating a signature scent for Riman. So this is just another example.
Since you've been here, I'm going to have you
Oh,
take this.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, this is my favorite thing to talk about. So I would love to share about this. So this is called Riman Village. And this is really the brainchild behind remember we talked about the #1 product formulator who's also the owner of the company. His name is Chairman On. And you have to realize his mission is to bring luxury skincare to the masses, to the everyday person, luxury for the everyday people, which fits the Filipino culture perfectly, as well as, in North America. And so I'm going to be honest with you. We've worked with doctors, med spas, master estheticians, and when they try the products, they're honestly shocked when they hear the price because they're expecting, for example, the dermatology cream that sold 40 million jars, they're expecting that to cost between, $300 and $400. And then they hear it's $60. and they're shocked. And I'm telling you, it's because that is his mission. He does not want to raise the prices. He priced it like that on purpose. And he has a vision to create a 100-year plan on how he wants this to become the #1 K-beauty brand in the world. And he wants to do it with us. And so we actually, went to Korea. We're going back here again in October. And his first year in business, you have to realize they sold a lot in Korea. In his first year in business, he took the profits and immediately started construction on something called Riman Village. It's a 5-star resort on Jeju Island, which is off the coast of Korea. And where most owners would have taken the profits and, bought a beach house or a yacht or a jet, he wanted to build a resort for us, for the reps to be able to have events and retreats and come and see his vision in the smart farm and where the magic happens. And so we went here and they said we were going to see the greenhouse. And I was thinking a little greenhouse, go to lunch. And we pull up to this massive campus and you can see it spans several blocks. And it was in that moment when I saw this, I realized this is so much bigger than network marketing. Something like this has never happened in the network marketing space. I don't believe it ever will happen again. And so this company is completely vertically integrated. What that means is it means they own the patents, they own the land, they own the buildings, they own the labs, they even own the bottling facility that makes the bottles that holds the product. And when a company is vertically integrated, they have cut out the middlemen, which means they have more money to put into the compensation plan and more money to put into marketing. So I am truly honored to be here in this moment because I have no doubt that this is primed to become a legacy company and that he will become the #1 K-beauty brand globally. And we're here at the beginning to partner with his mission. So Jen, I'm going to turn it back over to you. And I believe we have Julian to share some more details about the Philippines as well.
Is Julian back? I don't know. But I do want to point everybody to the chat, and I want you to read what Arnell said. Filipinos are hardworking and often seek small luxuries to reward themselves daily. The drive for affordable indulgence contributes to the success of brands like Starbucks and iPhone in the Philippines. Riman, luxury for the everyday people, fits the Philippines to a T. And I could not agree with you more. And thank you for saying that. It is so exciting to be coming there just at this time. It really is a moment in time that is never going to be recreated. Being the first people to bring Riman to the Philippines is something so incredible and amazing. And I know, Julian said earlier that you would not even believe the paychecks that people are earning here. I cannot wait to see what the paychecks look like in the Philippines. I think they are going to be next level, and I think you all are going to really show us who's boss here in North America. I think you guys are gonna really take this all the way. So we have amazing events. The next one coming up is in September. It's in Las Vegas, but we have events globally because yes, you are in business for yourself, but you are not in business by yourself. You have incredible support structures. And those of you who are here with us today on this team, this is the #1 fastest growing team in the entire company for a reason, not just because of our events, which are amazing and miraculous, but here on this team, we have incredible systems that can help you get your business going fast. We have done everything for you, very plug and play. So you come in and you get your skin quiz, you get your training website, and you get to work. And I'm going to turn it to Brianna to talk a little bit about the pre-launch schedule that we have coming up so soon.
Yeah, this is happening fast. And, we're going to have some of those marketing materials, the product list, the pricing for the Philippines. That's going to come out July 15th. And then on August 18th is when you can actually officially enroll in the Philippines. And then, of course, like Julian said, we will have a local warehouse that will be shipping within the Philippines. And products will start shipping on September 1st. Now, what will happen in between now and September 1st is Julian, myself, a couple of other leaders. We are going out to the Philippines on July 27th. We'll be there. And then we'll also, and I believe Julian is, I think, arriving a couple days prior to that. But we will be there through August 6th. Now, we are going to have a team event on July 31st, so mark that date. We'll have more details to come. We will also have a couple of corporate events on August 1st and 2nd. And so, it'd probably be in a couple of different cities, possibly, definitely Manila and then possibly Cebu. So we will have that information coming out to you soon. And then you can go ahead. You don't have to wait till August 18th. You can go ahead and pre-enroll now in the system. And so get back to the person that invited you, and then they can give you more information about how you can pre-enroll in the system. In the system now, so that way you can go ahead and grab your link and start pre-enrolling others to be primed and ready to go for when everything launches. Okay, so we want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. That was everything that we wanted to share. And Jen, did you have any closing words?
No, we're just so grateful to all of you for being here. We know there is nothing more valuable than your time, and we appreciate your time. We are so excited to get to work with you to lock arms and bring Riman to the Philippines, where the demand for luxury items and K-beauty is at an all-time high. You are in the right place at the right time. Let's go. Thank you so, so much for being on with us. Brianna, thank you for doing a wonderful job as always. Julian, we love you. Everyone have a phenomenal night. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.